Greetings, light workers. This is Oya Transformation, and this is your daily Oracle reading for May the 28th, 2020. This is Thursday. Hope everybody's had a good week so far after the long weekend. The cards have been shuffled and prayed upon, and they have fallen as follows. What seems to be the theme in a word for today, or a phrase, is trust in the divine. First and foremost, I want to say you do know that you are divine. You do know that you are made, we are made of God particles. Yeah, we got a mama, got a daddy, got a situation, got an environment, got a whole bunch of stuff that you can see and hold on to you if that's working for you. But I know it doesn't work all that well for me that often, because then I can get into complaint about why isn't it this way and why did I get it that way when I got it exactly how I was supposed to get it. And what's most important is that I know that I am uniquely made of God particles exactly how I am supposed to be made, not to fit into anybody's mold, anybody's group, anybody's race-conscious belief. And the reading for today supports that, and so that is the message. The first card that fell is the Chariot of Ascension, and this is the theme for today, the Chariot of Ascension. But just by the name, you recognize that the Chariot of Ascension is asking us to go places and to seek higher levels, to seek responses, to seek messages, to seek guidance, to seek spirit between the worlds. And the only way to get there is, that I know of, is to meditate and to pray and to be conscious of all that is around you, because the messages are always there and they are always answering questions, whether they're spoken or unspoken. So, what exactly does the Chariot of Ascension remind us? Is that there are times when the soul becomes ambitious and wishes to live its entire light in conscious oneness with all expressions of its being, including the physical body. So, whatever your practices are, hopefully they are uniquely yours, so that you can own them and feel them and embrace them in a powerful way, so that you know that when you get intuitive messages from Spirit, you can trust them. Why? Because you trust yourself. Why? Because you trust your practices. Why? Because you have experience and repetitive experience of having your questions answered in your world, because of the way you revere your God particles, because of the way you honor your inner life. Your outer becomes more receptive to the things you want to see. Moving on to what supports this Chariot of Ascension, or this knowing that moving between worlds is available to you to answer your questions, is from the numerology deck, and that is the 22 of Intuition. Well, the 22 of Intuition is saying that you are being urged to honor your sensitivity at all times and to prioritize your premonitions and hunches above practicality and logic. This isn't a time to be influenced by others' opinions or to betray your inner guidance. And that's a strong message for right now, because if you look around, there are all kinds of outer messages. But if you're in contact with your inner world, then you know what works for you and what doesn't. Well, knowing this oftentimes will put us in juxtaposition with the crowd. But that's okay, because it's okay to know who you are, know what is right for you, and walk in that without making somebody else wrong. That is the challenge. For the higher initiate is to know what God is saying to you and not force it on anybody else. So moving on to the third card in this reading, and this is from the empathic deck, and it is the 16 of phases. Well, 16, as we know, reduces to a 7 and speaks to spirituality. And this sounds like there's a time for everything. It feels like there's a time for everything, and everything in its time. As an empath, you find yourself not only sensitive to people and places, but to unfolding phases of change. Letting go, letting change happen is one of the greatest gifts that one can give to themselves. And I would add, that's one of the greatest gifts one can give to the world, because, you know, we are in a world where masculine energy runs wild, which means the warrior is honored over the saint. The warrior is honored over the monk. But there are many ways to fight. And blood does not have to be shed. If I believe I am God particle, and I do, amplifying my God particle does far more work than picking up my gun. Not to say that having a spear near is a bad thing. But first and foremost, recognize who runs this place, and the places above it, below it, around it. It would be spirit, the vast, wide, omniscient, omnipresent, honorable Isis and Osiris. So how do we honor them within our bodies here? I would say by recognizing the union, recognizing the balance. Now look at it like this. You had two hands. If this hand can reach out and give to the world, with this hand you can slap away what you don't need. When we put them together, we honor God particles, and together they work for our good. Ashe. Well, the last card in this reading from the Course of Miracles says, God's voice speaks to me all through the day. Sounds like we did our work. The part of your mind in which truth abides is in constant communication with God, whether you are aware of it or not. I challenge myself, dear ones. I challenge you as well to become more aware of just what your God particles are saying to you on a regular basis. To become more balanced with the energies that reside in you. And don't be quick to slap what's wrong in your life, in your belief away. And don't always be quick to give. But first spend time in union with both of these energies that you might make better decisions, that you may hear more clearly what you're being called to do. This is my message for May the 28th. Happy Thursday.